Thank you.
Um,
Hey.
so I've done some research, but I like to just start off regardless, let people know
Yeah,
who you are
of
and what you
course.
do.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Meg Donnelly, and I'm a singer, actor. I like to dance. Yeah.
Awesome. So you like to entertain people.
Yeah, I love entertaining.
Cool. How did you get started with everything?
Well, it started in when I was like 5, and I was trying to do sports. Like I've always wanted to play basketball and be like stupid, but it didn't really work out for me because I'm terrible at sports. So I had to find something else. So I started doing musical theater, and like growing up in New York, like musical theater was an easy thing to do because it's so like there's so many ways to get into it. Okay, so musical theater, and then yeah, I fell in love with it, and like just the feeling of being on stage was just so incredible, and I loved doing it so much. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And then one show when I was like 11, I want to say, there was an agent that came to the show and was like, "Oh, like we love to sign you." And my parents and I were like, "Sign what? Like what are you talking about?" So we had no idea what that even meant. And they're like, basically, you're gonna go on auditions for like projects, like as a job. And my parents were like, "Is this something you'd want to do?" Because my parents were never in the business. They played sports their whole lives. They have no idea. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I just jumped right into it, and I was auditioning. I had really no idea what I was doing, and I was just learning, going through it. And it wasn't until I did like really fun projects when I was younger, but it wasn't until I was like 16. So it was from 11 to 16 that I was just auditioning, and like nothing really like hit. So I was like, okay, maybe this is just a hobby. Like I was always passionate about it, but I was like, mm. And then it was a lot of hard work and a lot of learning, like a lot of no's, you know. But you have to have that to build up where you are today, like a lot of learning experiences. And then I was 16. I moved out to LA for American Housewife, which is the show I'm on now, and that was like the first big thing that I ever did.
All right. So what did you learn once you got the yeses? You spend all this time like, oh, I want to make it. I want to be on something, and then boom, like you're actually on set. Was it different than like what you expected to be? And kind of like, what did you learn? Like when it went from a dream to like, oh, this is really what
How?
life is like for an actor.
Yeah.
Like, how did that impact you?
It was definitely hard getting used to it, especially as a theater kid. Everything's so over the top, and like acting on TV, even though it's a sitcom and it's still a comedy, like it's very minimalistic. So I had to like trying to change that because I'm always just so loud and so like talking like, "Ah, ah," and you have to kind of have to make it minimal. But so that was definitely a learning experience. And then everyone in American Housewife was already experienced actors, experienced crew members. Like they've been doing this for so long, and so I've just learned from them. And we became a huge family, and they've been helping me through all of this. And since being on American Housewife, that was like the start. And so like my career since then has kind of expanded from like zombies and from doing music, and that was all through American Housewife. So I've grown with them this whole time. I mean, I went from 16 to 19, which is a pretty big change. So it's just been so surreal, and I can't believe that I'm doing this as a job. Like it really doesn't feel like a job at all. So I'm really lucky that I can say that.
Yeah. What are the some of the other things that you've booked? Like I know you work with Disney. And,
Yeah.
um, what and then we can get into the music, but like just after American Housewives, kind of like what did
Yeah.
that start? What type of momentum did that start?
Yeah, so I was on American Housewife, and during filming the first season, I auditioned for this movie called Zombies, and like my dream was to always be in a musical that was also a movie. Like High School Musical was my favorite thing growing up. So the fact that my whole life I've been auditioning for Disney Channel, and that was always so surreal to me. Just the fact that I can even get in the room with them. So, but then this one I was like, okay, I really want this one. Like this is like a dream project. And so when that kind of started unfolding, and I was auditioning for them, and it was getting like to the final rounds, like I couldn't believe it. Like so surreal. And then when we finally were working on Zombies, like that was a crazy learning experience too. And I think with dance, like we spent 3 months in Toronto filming the first Zombies and the second Zombies that we just filmed. And you spend 3 months with all these dancers, and you become so close with them. And like dancing, like really makes you learn so much about yourself. Just like because you have to be confident in front of everyone. Like dancing in front of people is like really hard and like vulnerable. But I think I learned so much about myself through dancing with all those people, and like people just lifting you up, being like, "Hey, like kill it," and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe I am." So that was really cool. I definitely, like, each project that I've worked on, I've learned a new thing about myself.
So I mean that takes me back. I was a Disney Channel kid too. I even have gotten into arguments with like my fellow millennials, like 10 years older than you, but like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was always the biggest
and
thing.
like both were amazing. But you know,
Yeah.
all of the original movies and
Yeah.
shows, and you know, and then like people like Shia, Hilary Duff, and all these people
I
who come
know.
out of that. Like, what is the Disney system like? You know, it's kind of we've just seen so many stars come from it. I mean, Ariana, Selena,
Literally
this and that.
everyone. Like,
Like,
like if you think about it.
you know, Lohan, like whoever,
Yeah.
like
Even like Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, Ryan,
yeah,
they're all in the Mickey Mouse.
yeah. So like, so being like a young artist and a young performer, what did you learn about like their process and their production that would help maybe explain like why so many people have come from them and gone on to such great success?
Well, everyone at Disney is just so wonderful. They're so nice. Like, and the fact that what, bro, they're so nice, and and the fact that I feel like kids, like Disney Channel is so special to kids growing up. Even just like Disney in general, not even the channel, just the whole Disney brand. Disney World, Disneyland, Disney movies, Disney princesses, like everything. Like that is just a vital part of growing up. And I think it's such an honor for all these people. Like, I can't believe that I'm even a part of Disney in any way because the kids grow up with this. And like Zombies is like some kid's High School Musical for me, which is so surreal and it's really weird thinking about it. And I think, but also their process, like how they cross promote everything, and they have like such a unique way of like getting to all these kids in a broader audience. So I think it really helps if you're trying to like promote yourself or promote your music. Like Disney is such an amazing thing to have because they reach everyone because everyone loves Disney. And so if you're a part of the franchise, then it gets to everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really surreal.
100%. So speaking of music, what has that been like? Because I know that's what we're here, you know, really talking about now. And I'd like to get into trust specifically in a moment,
Yeah,
but just
trust.
in general, like how did music start to play a role in your life and kind of like become a foundational aspect of what you're doing out in the world?
Yeah. Well, growing up, I always had music playing in my house, and my parents, even though they aren't musicians or they're not into the whole artistic like side of things, they are huge music people. So growing up, that was always a huge part of my life, just always playing. And like music has helped me through so many things, and music has always been there for me, and it's like it means everything to me. And I've always been writing down lyrics, and I've always had like melodies in my head, but I never knew how to like actually do it, if that makes sense. Like how to go into a studio and produce it. Like I didn't even know you could do that. Like I didn't even know how to get to a studio. So that kind of started with Zombies because there was like production teams for all the songs, and I met Ollie D, Ollie D and Kaz, and they were like, come to our studio in New York, like whenever you're back home. And I was like, okay. So that kind of just started everything. And then I was like, wait, you can actually just go in the studio and like create music? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, sick. And then that's how that started. And that's been surreal too because I've only been really doing it for like a year and a half. And I don't know, man, it's really surreal. But yeah, I just want my music to, like, I want people to relate to my music because whenever I hear lyrics and I'm like, yo, I'm going through that right now, it's like one of the craziest feelings. So I'm trying to make it as relatable as possible. And then I also love dancing to music. And I've met so many of my friends from just vibing to music, and they start grooving. I'm like, okay. And then we start talking. But like, it starts from dancing. So I just want my music to connect people. And then like, if they feel related to it, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel the same way about music.
Mm-hmm.
So what is trust in this process? You know, you figured it out. You've had some successes, and now you're like really establishing yourself as an artist. And I get that that's what you want to do, but what is this project saying? You know, what are you going for sonically? Like, you know, you have tons of music that you're fans of. There's all sorts of stuff in the marketplace. We have streaming now. Like, you know, how do you want to come out and say, okay, this is me. This is how I kind of stand out in comparison to
Yeah.
everything out here?
Honestly, I don't even know how to describe trust. I feel like it's just trust. Like there's definitely my music is heavily influenced by like jazz and like R&B. So there's definitely a lot of those elements in it, and I also love rap. Like that's what I primarily listen to. It's like R&B and rap. So there's definitely like those elements in there. I'm not a rapper, but but like there's definitely influences of that. And then also I feel like pop music is just so influential, just like in the history of things. So there's definitely pop influences as well. There's just like I don't even know what genre it is. It's just like my head, I guess. But I hope people like it, and it's definitely matured from the other songs that I've done because this is what I've always wanted to do is like more like the R&B side of things. But you know, obviously with like Disney and like the younger fans, like I was like putting out songs that are more like on the zombies route. But now I can finally put out like what I want. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. Yeah. What have you learned about the work and like the process that goes into it? Kind of like what happened with you with acting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I have to remember lines and blocking,
Yeah.
and kind of like I can't do the theater over the top emotions.
Yeah.
So what is, you know, oh, music's always playing in my house, and I love singing and stuff. What have you learned when it's like, okay, vocals have to be like this, or we're mixing like this, or you know, the lyrics, the writing process, like once you've really got in there, and it's not just, oh, you can go to a studio, but I'm sure now, like I saw a video on your Instagram and you're like super involved.
Yeah.
The process, you said it was 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
So,
Always.
So what's it like now that, you know, you're really in there and you kind of understand the process? What are some things that are important to you?
Yeah, I'm honestly still learning about the music process. Like I haven't fully figured it out yet. Not that I've fully figured out acting either. Like I have no but I feel like I have a better understanding of acting than like the music process because I haven't been doing it for that long. But I love it. And a really cool thing about music is that it's your music. So in acting, like you have a director and producers, and like that's amazing because they tell you what to do, and you're like, okay, like I'm gonna switch it and like have myself do what they want, and that's really cool because you get to be another person. But with music, it's your own. So like you're telling people like, yo, like can you just like bring that back a little bit, or like can we do like harmonies on this one? Like it's whatever you want. So I think that's really cool, and it's like kind of therapeutic in a way because whatever emotions you're feeling, like you can just go in the studio and you're like, I'm writing a song about this. I've had a terrible day. Let's write it down. Let's do it. And it's that simple. I thought there was so much more work that had to be done with music, but it's really that simple. Like you just sit down and you have to get that hook, of course, but before that, like it's just whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I saw your post. You said something about like thinking about hooks and just
Yeah.
kind of like creatively. Do things go? Do you like to spend a lot of time on stuff, or do you like to just kind of like go off the top and let it work? Like, you know, are you the perfectionist who takes 100 takes, or do you just try to like say, nah, that was like my soul right there. I'm gonna let it out. Like,
I feel like it's more about like soul and like the rawness of it. Like I'm not like, oh, let's do it over again, because then like I get in my head so easily that I try not to like do things over and over again. But with songs, like I have to finish it. Like even if it takes like 2 days, I'm like, okay, we have to finish this one and then move on, because I just get like in the zone. I'm like, okay, like we have to, like this is fire, we have to finish it.
yeah, you don't have like 10 songs halfway done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you go back to it and you're like, what was I feeling in this moment? Like if you're feeling it, just like get it done.
For sure. So what's your like life like now, basically? Like, are you always traveling? Do you get to come to New York often? Like, I know you're from here. Like,
Yeah.
What is your day to day? Because it's like acting, music, and then just kind of like Instagram popping vibes. Like, what is it like? How does it come together? What's a day like?
Yeah, I mean, a day's crazy. Cause I'm still working on American Housewife, so whenever I have a week off, I try to go back to New York. But that's always hard. And I'm always like going, like tomorrow I go to Orlando for like a Disney World performance. And then I go back to filming American Housewife. Then the next break I have, I go to Philly. Like I'm just constantly traveling. And it's fun. And it's fun to like get to leave a little bit. And it's kind of like a breath of fresh air when you get to leave and start working somewhere new. But it also is hard with like, friends and like social life because like you're on a plane, then you're like, oh, they're like at a party or whatever. I'm like, ah! But that's just the FOMO, so it's like not a big deal. But shout out to the FOMO gang out there. But
it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, I feel like it may be like young artists aspiring to like learn from your perspective on this, but what type of like sacrifices do you have to make? Because I think everybody just sees like the glitz and glamour. You're on TV, and without making it seem like it's negative, because I know you enjoy
no,
the
yeah.
work, but more just like, I have to not go to parties sometimes, or I have
No.
to like realize that I can't, do everything every 19-year-old's doing because I'm trying to like build this legacy.
Yeah.
Like, what has it been like realizing that?
No, it is hard, and like I wouldn't trade it for the world, obviously, but there is like, of course, pros and cons to everything. And growing up, even with auditions and stuff, like my whole life, like there's been so many times where you have to like sacrifice your social life for work, which is what normal adults do. But when you're like 11 and you're like, yo, I have an audition tomorrow, I can't go out, like that's not really normal. But I always knew that this is what I wanted to do, and if you have to put the hard work into it if you want to be successful. So like I always had that mentality of like, okay, well, it's not that bad, and like there'll always be another party, and there'll always be something that you can go to. It's not the end of the world. So but your work is now, and that might go away, so you have to do that first. Yeah, I definitely have specific goals, and I overthink everything, so I try to take things like one step at a time. I'd be lying if I'm like, oh, like I take one step like every day as it comes, whatever, because I'm always constantly like, okay, so next year, like April, what am I doing? Like I always try to micromanage everything, but because there's so much going on, I'm like, okay, let me figure out what's happening next year, which is it's just like a thing. But honestly, I mean the album's coming out soon, which is so exciting, and yeah, I'm planning a tour like the whole month of March. So that's going to be exciting, just around the United States of America. So that's going to be really exciting. Zombies 2 comes out in 2020, and then, oh yeah, and then I did this campaign with G-Shock, the watch, and it's about like women who have their own schedule and like make their own schedule, because I'm nocturnal. Like I'm surprised I'm even awake right now. So so that was really fun, and it's just about music and like how my day-to-day life is. So that comes out November 15th.
Yeah, isn't there a record with Coda?
Yeah, that comes out November 15th with this song Predictable that I did, and then also this song called Just Like You with Coda the Friend, who I'm such a fan of. He's amazing. I'm so grateful that he's even on my record. Like that's so crazy. But yeah. So, and then in the G-Shock commercial, they like use in the G-Shock campaign, they use Just Like You with Coda. So that's why we're releasing it as well. So that'd be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You talking about the G-Shock campaign and just like women who keep a schedule, like, I kind of just want to ask, like, what is, being a young woman, like, in the business? I'm sure, like, I don't walk around every second like, oh, this is what it's like to be black. Like, I'm sure, like, you might not do that as a woman, but, like, are there certain things where you're like, okay, like, I really do have to approach this way because I'm a woman, or just, like, I feel responsible to younger girls who I want to show how they can maneuver in the business. Like,
Yeah.
How do you take that part of your identity and, like, apply it to your work?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things that women struggle with every day, but I think now with social media, it's so important because, like, if girls dress a certain way, they're this, and then if they post a certain way, they're this, or it's, like, so sensitive now, and, like, if you wear, like, too much clothes, it's like, oh, like, show, like, more of your body, and then if you show too much of your body, then, like, oh, like, you shouldn't be doing that, put on more clothes. It's like, okay, and it's just really hard in this generation, just with everyone with social media. It's like, it really plays mind games with you, and like you don't even realize it, but you're constantly comparing yourself. And I feel like women especially, like they're, like the women, it's like so competitive for no reason, but they like feel pressure because it's always, like eyes are always on them. It makes no sense. So I think I always try and say like wear whatever you want. Like sometimes I'll wear like bags, And then sometimes like I'll wear something that shows off more of my body. It just depends what I want to wear. And you shouldn't dress for anyone else. And you shouldn't read your comments. Like I read my comments sometimes and I'm just like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. And it's just so brutal. And like a lot of people just want a reaction. And if you give them a reaction, then they're winning. So just don't.
And they're also like, they say something mean and you respond, they're like, hey, I'm your biggest fan.
I know. It's brutal. I don't know why. Yeah, it's just a waste of energy and time. And also, like, they're cowards because they're saying it over Instagram. Like, would you say that to my face? No. So why are you posting it on my picture with an account that has no profile picture? I'm like, okay, cool.
You get a lot of love, a lot of inspiration.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And there's like, always on Instagram, there's so much more love than hate. But there's that one comment that's a hate comment and it ruins your whole day. But there's like 500 comments that are saying like, oh, like keep doing what you're doing. But like, no, it's, yeah. But like love should overpower hate. That's the whole point. But it's hard in this society because, you know, social media, man.
Yeah. So do you feel like this, do you feel like, oh, like are you just doing it because it's like that's the year on board? Do you feel like, yo, this is my generation, we're about this, we do this, like, you know, even like millennials, like we're kind of like out of here, like we're getting old, I got kids and stuff now. like what are like the 2000s babies, or like when I saw Billie Eilish got like the number one record, you see Lil Nas X, like
I know, it's crazy.
Like y'all are coming for everything, so can you just like end things out by telling us like what the 2000 babies are on, why your generation is different? I think we know Gen X is like this, the boomers are like this, millennials are like this. Y'all aren't really defining it because
we're just aware.
So what are
y'all
about?
We're just aware. No, I think what's really cool is growing up, like that's when technologies first started like popping, like Apple, all of those things. Like when I was like 11, so like I didn't really grow up with phones, but then midway through like my teenage years, that's when like phones started becoming a huge thing. So like we know what life is like without it, then we also know how to use it, and we're like on top of everything. So I think having those two mediums is really cool. Also, it's really cool being born in 2000 because I don't know, I just think it's a cool thing. Like it was the start of like a whole new thing. Yeah. And also every year is like my birthday, you know? So like 2019 I'm 19, 2020 I'm 20. So it's really easy to keep track of my age, and it's great. I get to organize it.
No, You're really organized.
Yeah, really organized there, like with my years and my birthdays. No, I'm just kidding. But I think it's really cool. I don't know why our generation is just like the one. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like what else? Why do we know everything? Like, why are we so sick? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you all are just like more with it younger than like maybe it's just because of social media and stuff. Like you have access to things. Like you can make your voices heard. It's not like you're just like kids. It's like y'all run the internet. So
no, we do because we like know what's going on. Also, like all the memes and stuff are like started by like our generation. And also, I feel like we're not afraid to like speak our minds. Like I feel like that was only like an East Coast thing. Like where people are just like, okay, I'm gonna say what I feel and like I don't care what anyone else thinks. And now it's like kind of a universal thing because of social media, because like people are just not afraid to like speak their opinions and their minds and just put it out there for the world. So I think that's cool. And I feel like we connect better that way because now everyone knows what's going on in people's minds and like we know what's going on. And like, oh, that's how you feel about that. Okay, cool. It's not more of like, oh, like I wonder what they think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about your work ethic. I think we kind of touched on it talking about how you're nocturnal and you're in the studio all night and stuff.
Yeah.
And even with like you're traveling, but yeah, what do you do to get it done? Like what he's describing, like what is your work ethic like? How do you approach your creative projects?
Yeah. Well, with music, I'll be in the studio until whenever, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. when the sun comes up. Even with acting too, like a lot of times there's like night shoots and I'm up until like 4 a.m. Like I don't really have a sleep schedule. Like I just sleep when I can sleep. Also, I have a really good like napping skill where I can just like I could put my head down here and just fall asleep like that. So that's really helpful because if I'm working and I'm up for like 23 hours of the day just working, then I can just have like 15-minute naps in there. So that's cool. But yeah, I just like love working on music and like I don't really get tired in the nighttime, so like I'll just keep going and going. And I feel like my parents, growing up, they didn't really have anything, and they've stressed this to me like my whole life that they really like came they like had nothing and they worked hard for like where they are now, and that's just always inspired me because they gave me the life that they always wanted. And so I haven't take that for granted because they work so hard for me, and I'm like, okay, like now I need to work hard, just to repay them for all that they did for me. So that's kind of why I have the work ethic, because they had an incredible work ethic that I'll never understand, but I try to live up to them. So
Yeah, great. And like you just between like music and film and like everything you're doing, you just are like willing to give it. You're willing to like give it anything that you have to do.
yeah.
Like, and like, is there any situations where you're just like, you know, the pressure was on and maybe it seemed like I couldn't pull off all these things, but you know, like I'm gonna make it happen by any means.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Like the moment I go on stage, when you're like walking up the steps, like backstage, like I'm always like, like, yo, like this is crazy. Like I'm going to get on stage right now. But then as soon as you get on stage, just everything goes away and you see all the people and the music starts playing. And then there's just a rush of adrenaline that I can't describe, but everything just goes away. And then you're like, okay, I'm in it. And then it's a blur. And then you get off stage and you're like, oh, that was sick. I want to do it again, like a million times. Kind of like going on a roller coaster. Like you're so nervous, and then you get on, and you're like, yo, I want to do that 5 million more times. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But yeah, there's always like doubts all the time, but if you don't give it 100%, then it'll never become 100%, you know?